Welcome, Famous and Lovers. We're about to cover episodes 1 and 2 of Famous in Love. We'll see you soon.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
That slow
Just waiting for that drop.
Starting on a high note.
Waiting for it.
Oh, it was such a slow, dreamy cover of California Dreamin'. Guys, welcome to the show. My name is Amber Plaster. This is going to be the pilot and episode 2 of Famous in Love. Welcome. We're so glad that you guys are here. We're actually going to be covering 2 episodes per after show because they have surprise released every episode binge watch on the Freeform app. You can also watch every single episode of season 1 on Hulu or on demand. And yeah, so if you haven't seen episode 2, spoiler alert, here we go. And I'm joined by my lovely co-hosts.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm Nakia Monet and you can find me on all social media at Kiki Boom Boom.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Olivia Gabaree. Hit me up at @real_O_G. Hey guys, I'm Renee, and you can follow me everywhere at Renee Ariel.
Ooh, I loved the pilot, and I actually liked episode 2 way better. What are you guys' thoughts on the pilot? Let's try to cover the pilot first.
Ooh, the pilot. It's very juicy. It's a lot going on.
There was a lot of exposition to cover, too. We met a lot of characters.
Right,
True.
we were definitely setting the scene, starting some character development, trying to get a feel for who Paige actually is.
Yeah.
I loved both episodes, but sticking with the pilot, yeah, we met a lot of characters this episode. I was like, wait, who's that? And I feel like a lot of the time we weren't sure if this character was okay, people look alike sometimes.
True.
But it was good. We got some like mean people, some nice people, some we don't know if we like them people. I was into it. I was
And
feeling
I like that you know that on like the first episode. Like you get to know who these people are and what their backgrounds are. You're like, okay, I don't like her. She's a mean girl. He's really cute. So I like that you can figure that out on like the first episode.
I'm really glad that we got a villain that I actually think is you know,
Do you
evil.
like her?
No, I like her. I like her. I like her because she's actually a villain, not just like I'm misunderstood. Like
Right.
she's a villain. It's
blatant
really
about it.
wonderful. It's refreshing.
as I called, she's a predator, but we'll get to that.
Alexis is on the prowl. She's playing no games.
So to let everybody that listens in on the podcast, as well as those of you joining us live, who here has read the book Famous in Love?
See, I haven't read it yet.
I haven't read it either.
Okay, good. This is going to be a good even panel.
I've read the book.
So Renee and I have read the book. We both really liked the book. It was a super fun, easy read, and we had so much fun reading it. Like I like inhaled it in like 2 days. It was, like,
Same.
candy.
I had nailed it in one day. I just like read straight through.
Yeah, it was super fun. So I think it would be good to going forward know that half the panel has seen
Right.
read the books and half hasn't. And for Renee and I, we were kind of looking at each other like, what is this? But it's different.
You guys were like freaking out. You're like, this did not happen in the book. This is not what was going on.
Who is that? Yeah.
And then Olivia and I were just like, what? Huh?
I know.
So we didn't read the book.
So, like, right from the beginning, it was already blatantly different, right?
Oh,
Yes.
big time. I mean, even they had a lot of the same, I mean, pretty much all of the same characters, aside from a few, and then they added a couple new ones. But just even like who these characters were and what their background stories were, sometimes were completely different or kind of different. I don't know, it was weird, but I'm interested to see where they go from here because, you know, when you read the book, you kind of already know, okay, well, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. But I kind of like the element of surprise because even though we've read it and we're familiar with these characters, we have no idea what they're going to do with them.
So what were your biggest surprises as somebody who's read the book? For me, I was kind of bummed that we didn't get to see Portland. It's set in Los Angeles, whereas in the book it's set in Portland. And I was kind of excited to see a very innocent setting for episode 1 and then see it get very glossy and fake.
For me, I am a little bummed that it's not going to be in Hawaii. Also, I was very surprised about Rainer's character because in the book he seems to be such like a sweet kind of romance guy. Like like from the beginning, you're like, oh my gosh, this guy's kind of like Prince Charming. He's so sweet. But in this, he's a little more real. Kind of has that bad boy vibe to him. Where in the books, it was all about Jordan having the bad boy vibe. And honestly, it seems reversed a bit.
reversed.
It's pretty even. I mean, it's obvious that he has a bad boy vibe from the beginning when his mom walks in on him just laying naked with a girl.
That reminded me of Mean
I was
Girls.
like, is that comfortable for you? I would feel a
Condom,
little
anyone?
awkward, but that's just me.
Were there no pillows on the couch? Because she didn't cover herself.
Nothing. It's like
Girlfriend was all ready to go.
used to mom walking in on her having sex with Rainer.
I'm hot. It's fine.
No one even busted a move. They're all just laying there ready to.
I like that scene. It seemed really real and messed up because the mom was like, okay, honey, here you go. Did you sign the NDA? She handed her a sweater and she was like, go, go, go. And she wasn't mean to her. She was just like, you're nice and you don't understand where you are. You need to go now. And I was just like, whoa.
Your girl number 55. We've done this already.
I think that was a dress. Like, it was straight up. That could have been a sweater, but it was a dress.
It was a dress.
That was a short dress.
Well, yeah, she left in one piece.
And she was super shocked. Like, she was like a fan.
Yeah, she was a fan.
She was amazed that she got to sleep with.
Do you think it's fair to if you were like a famous person to hook up with fans?
It's
Fair
tough to
in
say.
what way?
I think there's a huge shift of power.
Oh, are you kidding me?
yeah,
Big time.
sure.
But I think that's why they do it.
Yeah.
Because they enjoy that power trip.
I mean, but also like that kind of goes to say like when people hook up with professors, there's also that power play going on. So sometimes it's not right because I feel like you feel pressured to not say no in certain circumstances. But at the end of the day, it's that person's choice. I don't know. It's hard to say.
I'm curious to hear, for those of you who haven't read the books, what was your first impression of our lead actress, our Paige? What was your first impression of Paige?
I thought she was super awkward. I liked her though because she kind of reminded me of like myself. So I liked her a lot. I didn't read the book. I didn't know anything about her background, but just to see her in like certain instances, I'm like, oh, she's super cute. She's awkward. She gets super nervous. She's stumbling over her words. I just wish that sometimes she would speak up just a little bit more because I feel like she's always put in these situations where she's like, I'm like, get it out already.
Right. Maybe I'm just an aggressive person, so I would treat circumstances a little bit differently. But it's very relatable because obviously if you come face to face with this big movie star, how else would you react? It would be very nerve-wracking and awkward.
Especially if you knew that you were going to be interacting with them possibly and costing them money if you mess up.
Yeah, that's true.
I get that there's a lot of nervousness, but I was also surprised that because, in the books, Paige was in high school, all the characters were in high school, and in the TV show, everyone is in college, which I like, but if you're in college, you kind of you should know how to assert yourself a little bit more.
That's what I was a little confused. Like, I can understand if this was high school. I can understand her awkwardness in a certain situation, but I'm like, bruh, got to get it out just a little bit more, but maybe that may come with time. Maybe that's something that she's going to learn over time, and because everyone's not as aggressive or assertive as like myself, you know what I'm saying? So maybe this is something she will learn. But I liked her character. I thought she was super cute.
As we make our way through the pilot, what were you guys' initial thoughts of Nina? Because I know exactly how I feel about Nina.
Nina, okay, first of all, at first, I didn't like her. I was like, oh, she's like the annoying mom. But as time went on and I seen like her position and what she was doing on the show, I'm like, Nina is my girl. Nina is my girl. She's me in like 20 years. I'm just saying.
I get where she's coming from because it's pretty obvious that Hollywood's very political with positions and deals and things like that. So I think, if you're going to be a woman holding that high position in Hollywood, you have to be like that. You have to be aggressive. You have to know what you want and you have to be vocal about it.
I don't have a problem with her on the business side. However, I'm not a fan of her simply because she's sleeping with her son's best friend.
So
weird. Except for that, you probably shouldn't do that.
That's the only part where I'm like, oh.
Like, girl, you're hot. Like, you could get any young guy, go for it. You're successful. You're a powerful woman. Awesome. But, like, your son's best friend? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, this woman kind of scares me.
That's also a power thing as well, at least I think. Like, here's a woman who's like a hustler and she's like about her business. And I look at her like a boss. She's taking care of her son and she's talking to these power players. But then she sleeps with this young kid. To me, that's some little insecurity where she's like, okay, I still feel like a boss. I feel like a power player.
That.
Let me sleep with this young guy to kind of take control over him. Because I feel like a guy on her level, she might be a little insecure in like those instances.
Well, we saw that. We saw a little bit of that in episode 2 where she's at the restaurant and she meets up with the other studio head guy who's trying to make her feel uncomfortable. And she obviously used to intern for him. And he's like, oh, to think you used to be hot. And she's like, I thought that was a requirement for all your interns. So obviously she did work underneath him and he did hire her because she was hungry and hot. And now I think she's trying to prove to herself and to the people at her level that she can have a young hot person just like they demand young hot people around them. It's a power move more. I love Nina. I think that she's
same.
a total dark gray area.
She's one of those people where you're like, is she a good mom?
Yeah.
Is she a great businesswoman? You're still trying to figure her out a little bit.
I'm very interested to see if they're going to introduce Raynor's dad at all, because Raynor's dad has a huge role in the books. He is definitely a villain in the book, but I'm assuming they're going to try to make that happen with the mother, unless he comes out, which I feel like could still happen. We could still meet the dad and have him complicate things, but also I'm not sure if that guy who is making fun of her if they didn't have a previous relationship, or maybe if he's the ex-husband.
It was a little sketchy. She got a little intimidated and a little scared, which is something at first that you see of her, because when she's in the room with all these younger people, she's kind of the boss and making things happen. But it's like as soon as she's in a room with someone on her level, she gets very intimidated. So I wonder like how that's going to play out like in the future. Like, I don't know.
The only reason I don't think that gentleman, not Brody, was it Brody?
We were still like...
Because we couldn't tell the difference between... They look alike.
They look exactly alike.
I don't think they're the same.
Cassandra... No, they're not the same. I don't think
but
either.
We were very confused.
I don't remember which one Brody is, if he's the guy Cassandra was seeing or the guy that was
He's the guy Cassandra's seeing.
Okay, so Mysterious Man, we don't have his name. I don't think he's Raynor's
very good looking
dad or her ex-husband, simply because when they were at that party, they didn't show any conversation with Raynor or him, and I think that would be really important to introduce that.
Right.
I mean, unless they are hiding it, but I feel like when they're both at the same party, and it wasn't that big, I feel like it'd be odd to not show their relationship right then and there if they're both there.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, it for me, it feels like they're switching out the mother for the father for Raynor's storyline in the book, because we even got the hallway scene that that happened right as Paige got hired. She saw this huge altercation with Raynor and his dad in the book, and it happened in the TV show. And so it's setting her up, unfortunately, to be
the villain.
To be the villain.
But less so, because in the book, the father was, he tried to take advantage of Raynor's girlfriend at the time.
Yeah, so let's just set it up for people that are listening that haven't read the book. Spoiler, you should read the book now. Stop listening now. So what happened in the book was...
Yeah, so basically in the book, the whole confusion was that Raynor and Jordan were fighting because Raynor thought that Jordan slept with Raynor's ex-girlfriend, while they were together. Girlfriend at the time. But really, Jordan and Raynor's girlfriend at the time were hanging out after Raynor's girlfriend at the time was almost taken advantage of, kind of almost sexually assaulted by Raynor's father.
Wow.
And he had no idea. So I do think they're kind of going in the direction of the mother being a villain, but at the same time, they're not going as dark as they did.
Right.
Perhaps they'll continue to do so with their character. We're only 2 episodes in, but whereas like with the sexual assaults, they have not gotten to that point because so far it's consensual. They're adults. They're both adults.
That kind of sounds similar, though. I think
it's similar. Yeah.
The way it's setting it up, it's making it seem like the mother is going to take the place of the father, because obviously the mother isn't sexually assaulting Jordan per se, but
the girlfriend was underage in the book.
Oh, she was.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could see the parallels between, because the fact that it's a parent versus like a younger person in a relationship. I mean, she's not assaulting him, but there could be reasons why he feels pressured to do this, perhaps professionally.
That's a good point.
Or,
I also really liked in the pilot, and we'll talk about Alexis a lot in this episode too.
Alexis.
She's great. She's terrible, but great. But we saw, I love Wyatt, who they cast as the director, who has a huge role in the book. Huge, and so it was really fun to see a little bit glimpse of his neurotic behavior. And Alexis basically wants that role, and so she goes to confront the director, Wyatt, and is like, "Hey, well, will you give me the role of the little sister?" And he's like, "No, I don't think you're right for that, because there's nothing about you that seems very warm and okay." And she's like, "Oh, I can make it worth your while, and all 4 of us were just cringing. And then he was like, "No, I really I'm not that kind of guy. Like, I'd like to get to know you, maybe." And we're all like, "Oh, that's worse."
Yeah.
He actually liked her.
And she's like, oh, okay. And so she's like gonna be his little fake girlfriend for a while to get the role.
But it seems
So
like this
sad.
wasn't her first rodeo.
Yeah.
I feel
no
like
way.
this is how
Alexis
she
is a
tends to
G.
get jobs.
she's a
Does
professional.
what she's gonna do.
So sad.
Even that side comment in the beginning when she was talking to Rainer saying that she wasn't going to screw Jordan foreshadows probably how she handles a lot of situations.
Yeah, that's why I feel like that's why she has a girlfriend, an ex-girlfriend, slept with this person, because I feel like every time she's in a room,
Right.
first thing she throws is like her vagina. She's like, hey.
And it's always industry people, and it's funny because she just tosses it out to get what she needs, even though, we saw when she was with what's his name, Jake, right? He's not an industry person now, but he could be of value to her, so she just puts
Turns
that
it
on the table.
She's like constly on the hunt. Like she's
She
in
really
the
is.
Hunger Games for
She's in heat.
On the
you know what I'm
prowl.
saying? Always.
She's in
always.
heat.
Her face like changes when she sees someone she wants. It's like her stuff, even in the parking lot. Oh my gosh,
She's
it's
like,
a little
ooh,
scary.
new girl. Girl,
You have a
calm down.
girlfriend.
Like, what happened to Dakota? Like, aren't you in a real life relationship with this girl?
I
And
think that
tells her
she has history
ex-girlfriend.
with that actress.
Yeah.
Oh, for
That's all.
sure.
She does.
And she's lying toward Dakota, and her girlfriend will probably find out because they're obviously not out, because her girlfriend says, I wish that we can be out and people can know about us. But she's like manipulating and sleeping around with all these different people. Hey,
It's also
teach his
unfortunate
own.
that both
Do
the
what
girls
you
look
gotta
exactly
do.
do what you have to do to get that role, girl. I don't. Alexis is
Before we
different.
move on to episode 2, what did you guys think of Cassandra and the love triangle between Cassandra, Jake,
Renee.
and Paige?
Listen,
because
I
we
know-
have to address the awkwardness.
I know you guys are hating on Cassandra,
She's
but
so cute.
she's been a good friend. It's very clear that she might
Renee's
have
face.
some things under wraps, but she's been a pretty good friend this far.
and she's a good friend in the book.
She has, like, she's
Maybe
pushed
she cock
Paige.
blocked a little, but like she's been
Okay.
a good friend.
You don't go, oh my gosh, you should go for him. You totally like him. You guys like each other. And then they're about to kiss. Oh, what am I missing, guys?
yeah. Okay.
You're missing the moment that you set up for them. And then she does it again.
She did it again.
And then she wears all those patterned sweatshirts. And then Rainer
Oh,
calls.
that is not
and
a
she
crime.
takes the phone. And then when they're in the theater, she doesn't explain anything. She just goes, oh, she's with Rainer. Like, come on, that's manipulative.
Renee
I
cannot
cannot
stand Cassandra.
stand this girl. She
You know what I
bothers
think?
me.
I think she has good intentions of being a good friend, but I think what's going to happen, because you see Paige gets this role, they both go out for it, and I think, not intentionally, but she's going to get a little jealous, and that's going to push her a little bit closer to Jake. But I think intentionally, she's like, oh, yeah, hook up with him. But low-key, do I like him too?
Right.
I don't know. It's like I like Cassandra, but I feel like her little loneliness might push her closer
You
to
can tell they're
Jake. Might be
setting
a
it
love
up for
thing.
something
No?
kind of sketchy. As of right
episode
No?
now.
What do you guys think?
Episode 1, I liked Cassandra. I thought she was super sweet. I thought she was super dopey and just, just one of, she just couldn't figure out. I was like,
adorable.
okay, she's adorable, yeah. And then I was kind of annoyed that she kind of kept showing up and encouraged Paige to express her feelings, and then was like, hey, what are you doing? I didn't like that, but also I was like, oh, she's young. Maybe she's just awkward. Episode 2, no.
No, you weren't about her.
I'm done with her neediness and her weirdness. And
well,
just,
what set it off for you?
Just that she, like, when they go to the party together, and there's this kind of weirdness where at the play she could have made a choice to make Paige and Jake and Cassandra's friendship stronger at that play, when she knew that she was that Paige had the opportunity to have coffee with Rainer, right, which is like also a career thing and also romantic and wonderful for your friend. Okay, great. And you're a fan of Rainer, cool. But she made a choice to go up to Jake and be like, you will never guess where Paige is. And I'm like, what are you? That's not
Okay,
cool.
well,
He did ask. I think because they started off as the three amigos, they're kind of like boys, where it's like you have this friendship where, of course, is a good-looking guy, and you notice that your friend may like that guy. I think they haven't transitioned into the whole, my friend may like this guy, even though she's trying to hook her up with him. I think they legit like three amigos, and she's super awkward, but she doesn't realize how weird and cock-blocky she's being right now.
Right. I support that. I think that if they are supposedly the three amigos, right? Her where does your loyalty lie? I get like girl power, this, that, and the other thing, but if Jake is just as much your best friend as Paige is your best friend, who are you to, lie?
See, I don't know. I disagree only because it didn't come out of nowhere when she originally said to Paige, like, you guys obviously like each other. So that means there's history there, just like, not even history of anything happening, but noticing it.
Yeah.
So if you're conscious of that, if you're aware of that, even to the point where you're talking about it with Paige, then you shouldn't be like an idiot and not be sensitive at all when you're talking to Jake about it if you know they like each other. You know, like, it's just being aware and conscious of other people's feelings and being just considerate and not just because I don't know, I just think if you know someone really well and you're really close friends, you know when to put your foot in your mouth.
Yeah, she cock blocked a few times.
Yeah,
I'm like, girl,
too many times.
I like Cassandra a lot. I don't know if I'm still getting to know her only because we're 2 episodes in, so I'm like, I don't know if she's intentionally just not realizing that she's cock blocking, but she's definitely cock blocking, or maybe there's gonna be some interest with her and Jake. I don't know.
The silver lining for Cassandra for me was I don't know if it's Cassandra or Cassandra. I don't know.
What were they calling her? Cass.
Cass. So Cassandra. Okay, let's say Cassandra.
Working girl.
Yeah. So let's talk about how she is getting her money, and also the silver lining for me was that she was like, Paige, of course I would be happy that you got the role. That's the one thing that made me like Cassandra, is that she wasn't immediately like crazy
100%.
jealous. Yeah.
You know, with the whole Jake thing, it is a little bit iffy on how she's about it, but as far as being happy for her friend, I'll give her a check in that column.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't seem like she's jealous of that at all. She's been supportive since the beginning. So
far.
I'll give her that.
Yeah, we'll give her that. We don't know about the whole love triangle thing, but
I was very interested to find out about, I was like, you know, we were all like, is she an escort? What's happening? Because I was saying to you guys, I don't know how dark this show can get, because they already like fudged a few curse words that were very, very awkward.
Oh my
extremely
gosh.
awkward.
What did they say?
Bang
bang
me.
me.
You guys said what she really meant, but when she said that, I had no idea where she was going with that. I was like,
They
was
tried
that
it.
correct? What does that
They
mean?
tried it.
So I thought, well, maybe she's not an escort because maybe the show is too PG rated for children. And then I was like, that would not make sense because they're in college. It's supposed to be darker. And I just felt like I was thrown around so much trying to figure out the tone of the show and how far it's going to go, you know? So I actually was kind of excited that it wasn't quite an escort, but it was something equally degrading and very real. There is a thing out here, you know, on Craigslist that you can see. It's like make $1,000 in a day, like, and girls who come out here to be actresses fall into those kinds of positions. And it was really, really interesting to see him at the party interacting with her. And I thought, well, if he was an escort, why wouldn't he keep it discreet? Why would he?
Right.
Why would he open up his mouth? That was so
he's like,
strange.
are you a client? And I liked how realistic they were, because I feel like that is the hustle wherever big city you go to. A lot of people come out here and they want to be actors, and I feel like you gotta get that shmoney. You know, that's the hustle. That's what happens. Like, everyone can't just walk into a movie set and they become an actor. People have to be waitresses, waiters, work at a store. And I liked how realistic it was, unfortunately. But like you said, there's a whole pink van that goes around looking for topless maids, and they have a big number on it. So I can see young girls signing up for that. Like, oh, I'm just cleaning topless. But when you're actually doing it, you're like, is this degrading or not? Or am I just making the money? So I thought it was really interesting how real they were.
Yeah.
And then he popped up at the party.
It's very specifically LA for me.
Very LA.
I don't know.
Topless maids, because you see the
Topless maids.
I've seen those vans.
Those vans are
They
everywhere.
have them in other cities though too. Like,
Well,
believe me.
For those
Not
of you
that
listening to the
topless.
podcast, there is something very specifically LA about these. They have these neon pink vans that people will park in very specific parking spots that they can never get towed. So they leave these vans anywhere that they can, and it's just like this enormous picture of like shadowy naked ladies and being like, $55 for naked maids come to your home, and it's so awful, and you can never get the cars to move because they on purpose park where you have to see them. And I just loved that they finally put that on TV, because it's like gross side of LA and other cities that exists.
Yeah.
I was happy to see that.
Cassandra obviously found one of those vans.
She took the number down and was like,
Eventually she's like, okay, this is a sign, I guess. I'll try it.
there's a van always parked outside of a
then we got the
McDonald's.
sign up.
My gosh.
Well, have you guys ever seen Shameless when he makes his own topless van?
Yeah.
And there's another show too.
Can we please flash that on?
Yeah.
Topless
Please.
maids. First of all, this van is always parked outside of a McDonald's in North Hollywood,
Also,
Burbank area.
$99, is that enough to go to someone's house?
Wait,
I need to
Rent
make
is
more.
very
all
expensive
exactly.
here,
cost
guys.
is not because
Well,
also
I need to make more
he
than
was
that.
gonna toss her an extra 50.
He sure was.
I don't know, man. It's looking pretty good to be a topless
Well,
maid these days. What's
I need
the
a new
number
job.
again?
if it's $99 and it's a service, I mean, part of that money definitely goes to the service. And then when it comes down to it, it's not just server money. Couldn't you just work at a restaurant?
Unless she's doing her own thing on the side where she's seen something like this and was like,
She
you know
put
what?
that ad on
I'm going to be
Craigslist
very
herself.
independent and just be my own contractor and just charge and be my own pimp.
But I feel like what we've seen from Cass so far, I don't.
Yeah,
feel
this
like
is
that's-
true. She's like
She saw the
naive.
van.
I like her. I like her.
Went on a hike, saw the
I
van.
do. We
She's
keep on
cute.
giving her the benefit of the doubt.
We give her the benefit of the doubt.
You guys are like this.
Episodes down the line, we're going to be like, God damn it, they were right.
So let's talk about Rainer. Rainer and Alexis have actually been friends since they were 12. I was very shocked to be seeing
Yeah.
them talking and hanging out at the end of episode 2. How do we feel about Rainer and his little sign language?
You
Do we think it's cute?
You tried
Or
it.
do we hate it?
No.
I
Unrealistic.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Hey, look
I'm
for
feeling
me.
uncomfortable. No.
it was
no
cute.
one's-
It was a cute gesture.
I thought it was cute
But not
in the way that it
realistic.
ended up working out. I liked the way she used it and the way that he ended up kind of coming over and saving her from her first media blitz. But at first, I was extremely grossed out by it.
Yeah.
Yeah, originally it made me feel the same way it felt during the audition when he whispered into her ear. Let me know if it also made you guys feel uncomfortable when he whispered in your ear because I didn't like it. Amber thought it was cute. I was not
Well,
about
what
it.
did he whisper? It depends.
So special.
Oh,
and then
God.
something
That's what he
else.
said?
He
did
said
say that.
you're so
Predator.
special.
But you know
Like-
that happens in the book. That's what happens in the book.
Yeah.
Because their thing is he always like makes her feel better by whispering things in her ear when they shoot. That's
Yeah.
the whole book.
But it was cuter in the book reading it than seeing him at the audition. They haven't even talked. And he didn't do that. I don't believe he did that when they first met at the audition. It was a little into it. So seeing these people that don't even know each other, yeah, you thought she was cute. Awesome. A lot of people are cute. This is Hollywood. And then he's all of a sudden whispering yours. Girl, boy, you don't even know her.
Bye.
She may not be. I mean, she's special. She seems sweet.
special.
Great
Well-
lashes, by the way.
He knows that he has, one-upped. He's one up
Yeah.
above her, and I'll give it to him. He's trying to make her feel a little bit more comfortable, but I think that he's gonna use this little whatever it is to his advantage because he does seem like a predator. To use your term, he's even his mom says that he's got it going on for himself. So
I think Rainer has his foot like in both doors. Like I think he has his foot inside of like the Hollywood scene with all his like crazy friends and there's so much drama. Then I think he has his foot like, okay, I kind of want to be normal. Let me get to know this girl. But I think, I know it's for a prediction, but I feel like that might not be a good thing for this
Right.
young girl coming into the industry because she may really, really like him and he may just manipulate her.
I can't figure him out yet.
Yeah, he can't figure
I
him
wasn't
out.
bothered by the audition scene. I know that maybe because I was warned and then my expectations were so low that I liked it.
Renee's like, they're going to whisper.
Prepare yourself.
But I wasn't bothered by it. I thought he was trying to help her out, and she's so goofy that like anything that calms her down and makes her less like schmactery Nickelodeon acting, I'm a fan of. That would be great. And she gets better. Like as every little storyline goes along, the acting seems to get better. So I'm holding out on this, and I really really like how villainous Alexis is becoming.
It's just like the Regina George kind of.
Yeah, she is the Regina George. That's right.
Same dark hair, very dark. Something about me does.
She's got a girl on the
But
side.
she's like charming.
worst.
Right. She's charming.
She knows how to work. Like she works the room. She gets what she wants. Yeah, she's low key pretty evil.
Right. But I feel like if she was a guy, she would be that character where everyone's like, oh man, he's like an awesome character.
Yeah.
That's why I think I low key like Alexis
why.
because she has like the girlfriend, the little boo on the side. And she can go to her room and go to her director and take her clothes off. Go to Jordan's house and take her clothes off. Which is kind of
she's
sad.
gotta
but
do what you gotta do. So okay.
She's not a topless maid.
I support you. She's not a topless maid.
Do you, Alexis?
I
girl?
love how deliciously fake to Paige she was. She was like, "Hi, I don't think we've met yet. I'm gonna be your sister. We're gonna fall in love."
And Paige's face though, she was literally like
Weren't you just throwing me major shade in the parking lot?
didn't even
Who are
know
you?
what to say.
Her parking job, though.
Right? But this is what Paige's problem is. I know this is a new environment for her, but if you don't want to get stepped on, you need to make that apparent from the beginning. if this girl came up to me talking some other fake stuff, I would have been like, yo, didn't you just what's up? You know?
In the parking
But
lot.
what if it
Lights
was
fired.
like? But what if it was like Taylor Swift?
I would still.
If
And, and you're getting hired to go on tour with Taylor Swift.
and
like-
she's your
But
favorite singer.
Taylor Swift is, I'm the lead, honey. You're not.
Let
You're
her know.
Taylor Swift, but I'm the new Taylor Swift. So,
But if
sorry.
it's low key shady. Alexis was super shady, but I like Alexis.
Well, we got to see Paige get a little bit back
I like
at her.
the bad people.
Yeah.
We got to see Paige stand up for when she picks up the phone for
That
homeboy
was
Jake.
hilarious.
That was amazing, and I did not see that coming. I really enjoyed that scene. Super clever, Paige, girl, you're on it. Because
On her
I would have
toes.
answered and be like, hello? Like, I wouldn't know what to say. That was smart.
No,
was
I
all
like
about
that because it's like it shows confidence in Paige a little bit. Something where I feel like she's been lacking. So I was happy that she picked up his phone and was
Wrong
translating.
number, but
Little whore.
We were
Different
all
ones,
like,
cute.
you saw the
So good.
phone in her hand, and we were all like, pick it up, pick it
Pick
up,
it
pick
up.
it up.
Say hello. So I like that she did that. A little payback.
Yeah.
That's such a
Miss
good moment.
Alexis.
And it was in Spanish, too, because the actress Bella Thorne is a Latina. Her father is full Cuban, and Spanish was her first language, so it was cool to get her see her use that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Hey, Bella.
Yeah.
I know she came out suave as ever.
Yeah.
She's good at
Her-
that.
I'd like to see a
Spanish
little
was
bit
on
more
point.
of that suaveness. That's why I'm excited to keep watching the show, because I
Yeah.
want to see her grow in all the ways.
yeah, and we got a little glimpse of how she was going to grow in the beginning when they did the flash forward. It was cool to see that
yeah.
kind of confidence and her not really caring and just being, oh, thank you. Like, that girl that we saw in the beginning had confidence, and now
Yes.
it's going to be great to see how she gets there.
That's why I like. I like that you're gonna see her evolve into this brand new character because she's super awkward, which I also think is really cute. There's nothing wrong with that. So I'm excited to see her evolving because I didn't read the book. I'm excited to see it from like a fan's point of view who's never read the book, watching the show for the first time, and then go read the book and then compare it.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see her grow a little bit because I like that little hoodie she had on, walking through the airport with her glasses.
And
I
her
want that.
blonde hair, though.
Yeah, feeling the weight of the situation in the very first few minutes. She was like weighted down.
Totally different Page from like a year.
Yeah.
So that was pretty.
That was
awesome.
that was good to see. How do we feel about Tangi?
Tangi.
Beautiful Tangi, who's kind of in the awkwardly off to the side of this love triangle.
Yeah.
I know.
Which is a weird love triangle because it's like something happened, but you don't know exactly what happened because Jordan is trying to save Tangi.
I'm not completely sure
Right. I'm like, what's happening?
what happened. I know what happened in the book, which is very close, but
Right.
because I know what happened in the book, I think I keep thinking that's what's happened.
No, they definitely hooked up.
They
for
hooked
sure.
up.
And I guess what it seemed to be, at least what I got from the episode, was Rainer was off shooting something. He was never around, probably didn't contact her that much. She was lonely, she was having issues, and her and Jordan hooked up. What I don't understand, again, going back to why would Jordan, really? Your best friend's girlfriend, your best friend's mom. Like, maybe just say.
Maybe you should chill out.
But yeah,
Jordan.
chill, Jordan. But so I'm guessing that they hooked up. I don't know what happened after though because they seemed chill, and I don't know what led up to it because it seems like it was very consensual.
Right.
Like there was no alcohol involved. So now I just want to know like what led up to it, and then why did nothing happen again after it?
Well, and didn't Nina have a role in this entire situation getting out? She gave it to the journalist, but did
Yeah.
she give it incorrectly on purpose to save her son?
Oh, I think so.
What
I
what
think
was
so.
Oh, I think so.
So she added the element of alcohol, or what is exactly was it that she twisted?
She tried to throw Tangi under the bus, where like she tried to make it seem like she was super drunk and she came on to Jordan. And he's like, "That's not what happened. We both went into this together."
She
So
needs
she tried to
Jordan to
save
look good,
Jordan.
and she
Yeah.
needs Rainer to look good because
Okay.
they're in her movie. So she threw Tangi under the bus.
Okay, but then she gave Tangi a little something to say sorry, which was the soundtrack to the movie.
And then Tangi's mom, it's just so much.
I mean,
No,
not
she didn't even do that to say sorry. She did that to say, look, see, they're all friends and the media's all wrong.
Yeah,
We all still
well,
get
that's
She's
true.
trying
But
to
she,
put up a front.
sorry in the way of, well, that was bad press, but here's some good press. You can have the soundtrack.
Here you go, boo-boo.
Yeah.
I like Nina. She's up to
do
no
too.
good. I feel like she's gonna
She's
try
very
to
ca-
take
very
Tangi down.
calculated.
She's very calculated. But can I just say I'm Team Jordan because I love Keith Powers and he's super cute. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Jordan's growing on me. I mean, and he's. I know that he's supposed to be in the book.
Yeah.
He's super unapproachable, and he's supposed to come off as extremely extremely like just cold to everyone, which is a little bit what we saw when the girl was like, "Don't I know you?" Da, da, da.
Yeah, you learn about a sketchy past a little
So
bit.
he is definitely hiding where he's from, and people from the neighborhood where he's from are starting to recognize him, and that's that. I think we'll see a lot more of his family, and his neighborhood come back to bite him.
And I would like to learn why he's actually sleeping with Rainer's mom. Like, are they actually really attracted to each other, or is this something where he feels like he can use her in a position?
Well,
I would
that's
love
what
to
I
see
was
that.
saying though, because it seems like it was more than love, because they were confiding in each other at
They're like a
some
real life
point.
relationship.
Yeah, it almost seems like they had a real emotional relationship, not just physical.
Jordan's Rainer's stepdad.
Yes,
It's
and
hard to say.
I mean, it's apparent he must like older women, because he brought up that photo, with the woman that saw him outside of the restaurant. And then we cut to a photo of them two, and they looked pretty chummy.
That's
to
I'm like,
me.
is this an ex of his, a family member?
I think it's a family member.
I thought it was
so.
family.
In
And
the
they were
book,
on
it's
the
a
couch
family.
together.
I'm like, it seems like he likes older women. I'm with you, girl. I'm like,
trying
maybe
to
he likes
make
older
that
women.
happen.
Maybe
Oh,
he's
no.
like into cougars. That's where I was going.
Yeah.
But maybe that might be a family member because she addresses him. But it was
It wasn't super flirty. It was more like, "Oh, I remember you." Da, da, da. It wasn't like, "Hey, we've hooked
because I just
up."
know, like, if my family members seen me, it wouldn't be like that. Like, don't I know you?
Maybe it's a neighbor.
I know. Well,
Maybe.
there's an extremely, there's a strong reason why he pretended that he didn't know her.
Well, he was in front of another reporter.
Right, but I think that if it was
hiding
just your
something.
family member or something, at that moment, what is it that she could expose of you to this other person?
And Nina obviously knows because he says to Nina, no one knows about my past, correct? And they start making out. So Nina knows something very big and important about her new little boyfriend, Jordan.
Which is probably dangerous, obviously.
Oh, that Nina.
I like secrets.
Can't trust her with much.
How does she have time to, like, be a mom, be a producer, run a
Be a
movie,
girlfriend.
be a girlfriend,
She delegates, girl. She
Grab
has
some
help.
balls,
grabbing balls under the table,
got all kinds of
threatening
time.
people? How do you have time to be Nina?
I want to like that reporter. He's more nervous. I want him to be like a little bit bitchier.
Scared of Nina.
I know,
but I
cut
want
it
to like
out.
him a lot. I think he could be a really funny source of like relief for the show.
like the comic
agree.
relief.
I would like to see more of him, and I would like to see him be hilarious. Any closing thoughts before we get into news and gossip and predictions? Any thoughts on Brody, Rainer, Tangi, anything?
Like I said before, I never read the book, but I'm really excited for this show. It looks pretty good so far. It's a lot of drama, which I love, and I'm excited to see the different relationships. Pretty good show so far.
I'm excited to understand Alexis's web of lies
And being a predator.
and why does she have a girlfriend and she's going after a girl that looks exactly like her girlfriend? Like what? Like
it's true.
like
She has a
What is
type.
going on?
She does have a type. Blondes.
But that's true. There's a lot of different storylines that we got introduced to in these first two episodes.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a while before we start tying things together.
I'm just excited because there's not just like one thing I want to figure out or find out.
Right.
Like there's so many, and I'm just excited to see where they go with it because clearly they're not just following the books. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good show so far. Ooh. How do you guys feel? Okay, because you guys read the book and you guys know what happens in the book in the ending. What do you like better, the book, the show? Do you wish more things from the book was in the show?
I like them both for different reasons. The only thing that I wish was the same in the show right now was Rainer because I loved his character in the book and it seems very different on screen. So that's the one thing I miss.
Rainer in the book is like a big golden retriever puppy dog. He's
Yep.
like all sunshine and he's like bouncing around. He like makes jokes with everyone. He like can't not smile. Like
Yeah.
he's like Mr. Sunshine. Like he's, I don't know who I would compare him to. Like maybe like Logan Paul or somebody who's just goofy. Like someone who's just like really boisterous, and that's not who
Sweet.
this is at all.
Boyfriend material, I would say, which is the opposite of what we learned about him in this episode, where Alexa straight up said like he was not relationship material. In the book, he was exactly what you'd want in a boyfriend.
Like Prince Charming.
Like full, like people would
Like, too good to
describe
be
him
true.
as, yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely not getting that from this.
Nope,
exactly.
That's exciting because I'm not getting that at all
Yeah,
from Rainer.
it's fine. I mean, it makes things more complicated and makes Jake seem a little more
Oh, Jake.
Oh, Jake.
You guys team
Sweet
Jake? Team Rainer?
Poor sweet Jake. Right now I'm warming up to Rainer. But I actually, if I were just to see them in public, I think Jake is super cute.
Yeah,
He's
Jake's
so
cutie
cute.
pie.
Cutie.
I think Jake, I don't feel bad for him. I think he's sleeping on his opportunities.
Yes.
So if you want
Very
me to
true.
be Team Jake, you got to start
Very
making
true.
some moves,
That's right,
Jake.
girl. He is sleeping on that opportunity, and he let a good thing go. But like he said, he didn't think Raina would
He
be coming
friend
into the
zoned
picture.
her, so
Well, in her eyes, because of course, typical man says one thing but means the other.
Typical.
Typical.
Very typical.
Let's go into predictions, shall we? I think it's about time.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Let's see. Who would like to start? Any thoughts?
I'll start. Okay, so I definitely see Cassandra and Jake getting closer as the season progresses, and then that causing tension between Cassandra and Paige. But not only because of that, also because of her career. I'm guessing, just like how kind of the books went, that because of this movie role, it's going to completely distance her from her life outside of the role. Also, she's not going to do well in school because I don't know how she's thinking about balancing school and a movie. It's cool, girl. You could have taken a gap year. It's fine. But anyways, and that's maybe going to cause some drama with her parents, but...
her parents.
I know. I know. And I also hope we get some more love triangle action with Jake, Rainer, and Paige, because I don't want to see her really pick anyone, but I kind of like the tug of war. It's like, ooh, tension.
yeah, I think the three amigos is gonna be the two amigos plus Paige. She's not, I think, not intentionally, but I just think that she's gonna be so busy. The other two are just gonna get lost and probably find each other together. And also, I think, I am liking Rainer as a character, but I see some sketchiness coming out of him. He could, be a little manipulative and use his power to play some games, I guess.
Yeah.
And I have big things in sight between Alexis and Nina. I think the both of them, strong female alpha characters, they're gonna mess some shit up.
Yeah. I think, as like you ladies just said, I think Cassandra and Jake may get a little bit closer, not intentionally, but that's because Paige is not paying them any attention, I guess. I also think that I would love to find out more about Nina and why she's the way she is, because I love her for some weird reason. Like, why she's sleeping with Jordan, why she's afraid of this what secrets does he have on her? I would love to see that. And same thing with Alexis. Like, I want to know, like, girl, why do you have a girlfriend, an ex-girlfriend? You're sleeping with this person. Those are two of my favorite characters. And I would love to see, I feel like that woman who popped up in Jordan's life, I think may be an old love interest. I'm still torn, like, family member love interest, but I think something crazy is going to blow up about his past, and Nina's going to try to cover it up. And I think Paige is, she's not going to do well in school at all either, and her father's going to be very upset at her.
I agree. I think the school thing is absolutely ridiculous, and I think it's silly that they even brought it up as a conflict in the storyline. Like, it was like, are you kidding me? She's going to make $20 million, and you're concerned about her not going to stop it. She's already successful. It's fine. But the parents, I think, are going to be a continuous source of conflict for Paige. They're going to mess her up. They're going to guide her in ways that are going to confuse her because she's already very easily confused. And I also think that we're going to see something really interesting happen with Georgina, who is the new blonde who kind of refuses Alexis at first. I think Georgina's going to mess things up for Alexis way down the line, because I liked seeing that Georgina was the only, Georgina or Rachel, I think maybe she has two names, because she's billed as two names on IMDb. I think that there's something there that Alexis is not going to see coming, because so far she's the only one who's even sort of resisted Alexis, and I really would like to see that play out.
Oh, that's good.
I like it.
Yeah. And yeah, I'd like to see if Brody is going to be a continuous source of pain for Cassandra.
Cassandra.
One last little prediction. I think that eventually this topless maids thing will blow up, because as Paige gets more famous, she's going to be around people with bigger careers, higher power, whatever, and those people are going to be the people that Cassandra is doing her services for. And I think that's how it's going to, because she's going to be like, why are you here, or something, or she's going to know someone, and that's how it's going to get blown don't know.
You think that's
but-
how Paige gonna find out? She's gonna find out that her friend is a escort in the papers?
Oh,
In the papers.
In the online
because-
papers?
Yeah, I was gonna say because they're working around all these successful businessmen, but these men are never going to admit that they pay
right.
for a topless maid. So it has to be in a scandal type of way.
I can see Alexis paying for a topless maid since she likes them both. I'm just saying. And no. I just want Alexis to be in like all the scandal.
I feel like
I'm
Alexis,
maybe Alexis
I feel like
would bump
Alexis
up.
would want to like not pay for it. I feel like she'd be like, just do it.
Like I feel like she would be the person to blow up because Alexis obviously doesn't like Paige because she got the role. So I feel like she's gonna be the type of person to try to blow up to mess up her friendship because you see where she's trying to low key trying to talk to Jake for no reason.
Alexis
So I feel like
seems like the kind of
intentionally
person that
cause
can't be
problems.
bored.
Yeah. So I feel like another prediction, she's gonna try to bother Paige a little bit as this show goes along to try to take her down and manipulate her.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
I just want to see more Alexis because I love her a lot.
Me too. Well,
She's shady.
as always, guys, for you guys listening on the podcast and for those of you guys watching along with us live, please continue the conversation. We are going to be super involved on Twitter and Instagram. For Renee and I, we have read the books, so if you guys are fans of the books and want to talk a theory about the books, we would love to hear it. And for those of you who have not read the books and are new to it, we also have 2 other panelists that are brand new with you as well. So please tweet at us your predictions as well. We will be back next Tuesday, and we will be covering episodes 3 and 4. So please catch up with us because we cannot wait to go through it with you. Where can we find you guys on the internets?
You can follow me at Renee Ariel on Instagram and on Twitter, and check out my blog, sextingandthecity.com.
Ooh, and I'm Olivia Gabaree. Hit me up, the real OG.
The real OG, I like that. I'm Nakia Monet. You can find me on all social media at Kiki Boom Boom.
And my name is Amber Plaster. You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Amber Plaster. And I also have a YouTube React series on YouTube. So it's youtube.com/AmberPlaster22. We'll see you next Tuesday, guys.
Peace.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.